How do you handle it when hard news comes in as a leader? I'm Jen Whitmer, and I help teams and leaders engage, can cultivate communication skills. I help them gain self awareness and solve conflicts and really create empowered teams. So, when hard news comes, and that can be hard news for your organization. That could be hard news just for your team, an individual. That can be hard news in our culture. And what I mean by hard is upsetting, confusing, frustrating. Those types of pieces of information that come in can easily derail people and teams and their work. And we can't ignore it. And that's kind of what we often do. We come in and we're like, oh, we're just going to put that over here in a box and I'm going to ignore it. And what happens when we kind of put it over here in a box, Pandora is just all ready to open it right back on up. And what happens is that starts to infiltrate because you haven't given it a space. So it leaks in like water and gets all over and starts to degrade communication. It starts to destroy the work product. It starts to make its way through, and you can't quite figure out what's going on because it's sort of in the background. So rather than that ineffective process, what I want to talk about is how do you cope when these big pieces of news come in? And we've had quite a few doozies over the last couple weeks here in the States. I don't know if you've noticed that or not, but this applies to even surprising news that you get, a phone call from a kid that's been in an accident. Like, what do we do at work when these types of things happen? I am always trying to help us as leaders, especially on Monday Mentor, talk about wholeness and what do we do to bring our whole selves to work, that we are whole humans doing good and meaningful work in the world. So I'm going to talk about how do we do that when we get hard news. So there are three things that we need to do. We need to regulate our emotions. We need to examine our thoughts. And the third thing is then make a choice about action. So we're going to talk about regulating emotions, examining our thoughts, and making a choice about action. Now, when I'm talking about regulating emotions, that does not necessarily mean a kumbaya circle. Although, if you have created space and psychological safety on your team already, like, hey, we just want to create a space to talk about how everybody's reacting to this, then by all means do it, because that is the place to let people vent, to let people bond, to let people share and know that their thoughts are not alone, their confusion isn't alone. That is a great space for that. But what we need to do individually is close that stress cycle, process through the emotions that you are feeling. And that can be done fairly quickly. If you're worried about, I just got to get back to work, and if I just get back to work, I'll just be able to focus. This actually helps you focus better because your emotions are flowing through your body. They put all kinds of hormones coursing through your body, particularly adrenaline and cortisol, which lowers your brain function and your creativity. And I don't know about you, but most people I know need a little bit of creativity to get their work done. And they need a whole lot of processing space in their brain. So regulating your emotions is the first step. And I always like to follow the name, rate, find. So you're going to name your emotions. I'm confused. I'm shocked. I'm hurt. I'm angry. Whatever the emotions are, give them a name. And then you're going to rate them. Like, how intensely do I feel this emotion? I am angry at a 10. I've never been this. I'm so angry, or I'm just shocked, or I'm so sad, I'm grieved, I'm frustrated. Whatever those are, rate them on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being super, super intense and 1 being, yeah, it's there and it's mild. Give it a rating. And then third thing is find it in your body. Where does it exist within you? Today, I was headed to an appointment that I was a little nervous about, and I was starting to notice that I was really breathing really shallowly. And I was like, okay, I'm nervous. I'm experiencing a little anxiety. I'm experiencing anxiety about a 5, and I'm feeling it right here. I was feeling it right in my chest. Find where it is. I know when I hear cop sirens and I might be going a little too fast, I may have a little bit of a lead foot. I often feel that like rush of anxiety in my gut. So it's not always the same place, but find it in your body. And that starts to regulate your emotions. You can also have a good cry. You can have a good laugh. You can talk to a friend. You can get a hug. You can go do a really intense up and down your stairs, like really quick type of getting your heart rate up. All of those things start to regulate our emotions and close the stress cycle. So the second thing you need to do is examine your thoughts. Where am I getting this information? Are they reliable sources? And have I thought through this? Am I only thinking about my own experience? Am I considering others' experiences? Whenever I catch myself or help my clients, when we start thinking, why can't they just? When we do, why can't they just? We really need to examine our thoughts and our data and why we're thinking that way. So once you regulate your emotions, your thoughts become clearer. They're not clouded by the emotions who are all up in your face. So examining your thoughts becomes easier, and making sure that you have quality sources like, hey, I've known this person to be really respectful most of the time, and right now they're not being. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I might find another source. Like, is this really true? Sometimes, like, is this a news outlet that I can trust? All of that kind of thing, examining where you're getting your information and what's the story you're telling yourself about that information helps you process hard news. And the third thing you need to do is take a deliberate action. Now, I want to clarify, when I say take a deliberate action, that does not necessarily mean you are executing on that decision immediately. So we are in a land of hot takes, friends. I mean, everybody's got a thought. Everybody's processing out loud on social media. Everybody's processing. And while I think there is a place for that, I also think we might do a little bit better if we take more intentional action to regulate our emotions, examine our thoughts. And I'm going to process this with these people, or I need to write this out so I can then share it with my team. I need to talk to my partner. I need to talk to my kids. I need to talk to my girlfriends, my cohort of my coaching group. I need to have a conversation with somebody like that. Or I do feel the need to write something and post it online. Or, you know what, I feel the need to take some kind of advocacy action by contacting my city councilman, or I need to write my senator, or I want to donate to an organization that I know is helping in the way that I want to help. Those types of deliberate, purposeful, intentional actions give us the opportunity to do something that is positive and responsible, and a response, not a reaction. And when we respond, we have thought through that. When we've taken that time to make some intentional choices, it is always better for the people around us, because it's not our most mechanical. It's not just our knee-jerk response, our knee-jerk reaction. It becomes more thoughtful, becomes more measured, and usually better. I don't know about you, but my first idea is rarely the best idea. Once I iterate on it a little bit and kind of edit and play with it, I tend to come up with better ideas. And when I bring other people into the process, especially if you have a team and you bring them into the process, you've got more great ideas because your group is working on it together. So when you get hard news that might be extreme in nature, it might be shocking, upsetting, disappointing, or even really, really exciting, and you're the only person that's excited about it and other people aren't. That type of conflicted news, this process is incredibly helpful to you as a leader. So doing it first, regulating your emotions, examining your thoughts, and choosing a deliberate action first, and then leading your team through that type of process is a positive step in cultivating clear communication and in clearing out that water that was leaking in everywhere. You kind of sucked it all up with your shop vac and put it where it belongs. So you can process it, people feel heard and whole, and they can still continue to do their work. It might not be intensely at their top level right away, but they can still accomplish what your group is trying to accomplish. And you can accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. I hope that was helpful for you today. Let me know in the comments what you think, what you do to handle hard news. I'd love some other tips and ideas. I know that this process is incredibly powerful, even though it is so simple. If we can regulate our emotions, examine our thoughts, and take deliberate action, your team and you will start to flourish. Have a great week, everybody. I will see you later.